Hey guys, Southern Comfort Homestead here. Well, I've harvested some carrots and I have some humongous nice sized carrots. Now these are not all the carrots because I cooked a big meal yesterday sauteing carrots, bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, full U jalapeno peppers, kale, chard, garlic, squash, and there was something else I mixed in. I stir fried that and it was in potatoes. And it was super, super delicious, and chicken broth. But these are my carrots, and I sowed these seeds sparingly, not with a lot of seeds into the raised bed. And they came out bigger because you're sowing sparingly, and because the seeds have more, and the plants have more room to grow. You can possibly get more weeds in there. You'll have to weed it out, but you get big carrots. Now these carrots, I don't know the variety of them, but they come from a local hardware store and they just name them as carrot seeds. But these are the carrots I usually grow every year. And most of the time, the biggest I'll get would be something like this. This one could have stayed in the ground a little bit longer. In the future, I have a video. I got to do another test run. How I did a little, how can I say it, experiment on growing these carrots to get them big. Now these carrots did not have what you call root hairs all over them. If you ever see your carrots, no matter what the size is, it doesn't matter the size. If you see your carrots with a lot of root hairs, you need to go ahead and get them up. It's a sign that you need to get them out of the ground, and they'll just continue growing root hairs. But these carrots didn't have the root hairs. You know, a couple of them had. Let's see if I can find one. You know, something like that on the side, but that's what I'm talking about. It was little root hairs growing all over it. But these carrot seeds or carrots was sown into August, and I planted them earlier because usually on the southeast coast we plant our carrot seeds on September the 15th, and this year I went a little bit earlier. Now within that, you definitely got to keep them watered, and because the soil dries out. If your carrot seeds dry out, they're just not going to germinate, or they'll germinate and you'll see them. But if the heat is too high, that's why most people plant them in September because it's cooler temperatures. Is that the heat will just take the little seedlings out. But I believe the key is keeping those seeds, that soil moistened. Morning time, lunchtime, and evening if you can think about it. You can also cover your seeds when you start with like underlayment roofing material. You know, you lay it out on top of a roof and cover them up to keep them from not, getting scorched. But this time I didn't do either which bed. I got another one started. So watch my video on how to grow carrots, plant carrots, how to grow carrots. It's very simple and it's very, very easy. Many people have a hard time growing carrots, but it's not as hard as you think. The reason I like these big ones is for the fact that they're easier to peel. Now, it looks like I've not got the quantity I would usually have, and probably if I had smaller carrots, they'd probably be up to here, but I'm not interested. I appreciate and I'm thankful getting smaller carrots. They're just as good, and I have tasted these and they are delicious. Most of the time people don't grow them into the summertime because they will get woody. And my experiment is if you grow them and if you pick them sooner, if you pick them soon, not let them get too big, then they won't be woody if you grow them into the summertime. That works out pretty well. But the bigger they get, the more woodier they get. Well, these seeds were started in August, and I kept them watered. And, of course, the rains came, and I'm surely that did not help with the germination, which created, less plants to come up, little transplants, little seedlings, should I say, come up. But that was perfectly fine with me because that's what I was looking for. I wanted more space. So if you want bigger carrots and you sow tremendously, then you'll have to go in there and pull the little plants out to give more space so the plant will grow. I was super amazed at, and I've already cooked it because I did a stir fry. One of the carrots I pulled up, which I usually pull them straight up, and I moisten my soil because they can become hard to get out of the ground and they'll break. But while I was moistening the soil, one of these carrot tops was humongous. Now this little green on top is not a concern. You just cut that off. But it was humongous, and it broke into the soil. And it was so big, I just couldn't believe how big it was. And some of these carrots, because they did not have root hairs onto them, I could have left them in the ground. Now you know it's time, no matter what size your carrot is, if you see root hairs, which is little roots coming out on the side of your carrots, you definitely need to get them out of the ground. It says they're done, it's time to harvest them. But on these carrots right here, I didn't have any root hairs. So it was telling me, and there's one starting right there on this one. But you probably can't see it, but just little root hairs. But what it's telling me that since I didn't have root hairs on these, I probably could let these go on for a couple of weeks, and that would have been fine. Taste wonderful, not woody. They were sweet, not too sweet. The carrot's sweet, and the tops the chickens love. So I wash them off outside and break the tops off and give them to the chickens. So I'm super happy about this. Stay up with me in the future. I'll probably be doing, I got another raised bed coming up. Excuse me. I got another raised bed coming up with carrots, and they're really tiny at that point. And I did sow these thick, and I'll have to thin them out. Most of the time when I sow them thick, I never get to them in time, because once they come up, they just grow like crazy. But I did a experiment on these carrots to see if it would help out or if it harmed them on their growth, as far as, growing them and getting bigger carrots. So that's why I believe these carrots could have been even bigger if I just left them in the ground longer. But when I see them this big, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready to get them out of here. So, and then I pulled some more, just messing around in there. But most of the time my carrots are probably no bigger than that. And that's a tremendous difference in the size of carrots. So stay with me. I'm going to do that experiment. I might do it with these little seedlings coming up and see how well it does. Of course, they're sown thick, and that means if I don't get around to them and get those thinned out so that they can grow bigger, because either which way my experiment worked or not, you definitely need to thin them out. If you can thin them out like as they're growing, and then have them for salads, or thin them out and just cook them for a meal, or just thin them out and can them, because these even these little carrots right here are big. For there's most of the time they're not even that big around. That's the size of a quarter. So most of the time they're not even that big around. They're skinnier. So I'm super happy about that. So I've definitely got to try my experiment again. But you can thin them out by pulling little carrots up and then eat them just like that, and wash them, cut the ends of it off, peel them, and there's your carrot for your meal. Thanks guys for watching. This one came out to be a nub, but it's still super big. It's it's bigger than a 50-cent piece. Still some good eating. See you on to the next video.